See? Well, I can tell you, you're going to love the next two speakers too. And as I looked at my watch and I saw that we're a little bit behind, I just want you to know that there will be plenty of time for lunch, and it's well worth sticking around to see both of our next speakers. You'll also see a pattern in the way that I like to do this, because what I'd like to say about our next speaker is that she's a gal who came to our conference last year and had a workshop, and she was so fantastic that we had to bring her onto the main stage today. She reminded me of that just before we started today. And again, she has a written bio that I think is impressive enough that I just want to read it to you. Her name is Jeanette DePatti, and she is a plus-sized certified physical instructor who has helped thousands of people who haven't worked out in a while or ever learn to love their bodies and love fitness again. Previously, she owned a software company, a marketing and PR company, and she currently works as a celebrated author and fancy schmancy Hollywood producer. In her spare time, she teaches aerobics several times a week and as a certified instructor, and she trains for running races and marathons and lives not too quietly with her husband Brian and her dog Max somewhere in California. So today she's going to be not really talking about, but doing, hey, everybody can exercise. So let's welcome Jeanette DePatti.
This is a bride. I'm going to tell you about that in a little bit. All right. So I want to start by saying thank you. Thank you to the Take Control of Your Diabetes team for having me here today. I'm so excited to be talking to you guys. And thanks for coming to listen. Now, we're going to start with a little exercise, not a physical exercise. And you're not going to understand why just yet, but indulge me, okay? I want you to repeat after me. Everybody ready? Yes. I love my body. I love my body. I love my body. Very nice. You guys are awesome. Okay, we're going to get to that at the end of the presentation too. Now, I'm here to talk to you about why you should exercise. But I feel fairly certain that I'm not the first and will not be the last person to tell you about how awesome exercise is. Right? It lowers blood glucose, we have fewer complications from diabetes, lower blood pressure and cholesterol, it strengthens bones, improves heart health. A lot of that ABC stuff that we just heard about, exercise is fantastic for that. But it also makes us feel better. It makes us feel better about ourselves. It gives us a better sex life. Exercise is awesome. So we all do it, right? All the time? Well, really not so much. A recent study indicates that of the folks surveyed with diabetes, about 40% did any sort of exercise, and 60% followed this lady's routine, the diddly squat routine. Right? So why? We know exercise is great. Why don't we do it? Isn't exercise really for everybody? Well, I've helped thousands of people get up and learn to love their bodies and love exercise again. And what I've learned is that the problem with starting and sticking with an exercise program doesn't start here. Where does it start? Here, between the ears. Most exercise program problems start and end in the brain. So if we're going to have an exercise body, we're going to need to start with an exercise brain. And one of the things that we have to fix is the faulty software in our brains. So we're going to talk about exercise exaggerations, misconceptions, misconceptions and just plain lies that get in the way of us starting and staying with exercise. Okay, the first of these is that exercise bodies hurt. We're afraid that exercise is going to hurt. I promise I'm not going to lie to you. So, I need to tell you that sometimes exercise hurts a little. Okay, this is normal. A certain amount of discomfort or soreness after an exercise routine is called delayed onset muscle soreness, DOMS, is normal. This, I can't bend over, I can't squat to go potty, that's not normal, okay? That means you did too much, too fast. So there are things that we can do to minimize the amount of soreness we're going to feel. And one of these is, don't go out too hard. You don't have to be Rambo. Do a little bit. You know, a lot of us start out as exercise energizer bunnies. In January, you go to the gym, you can't get on a bike, you can't get on the treadmill because they're exercise energizer bunnies, and they're all going and going and going. And what happens by February? Well, the bunnies are burned out, bummed out, and broken. These people are now crowding the waiting room at the local orthopedist office. Is this what we want? No, of course not. Now, I mentioned that the bunnies are broken, and we don't want to be broken from exercise. But breaking up exercise is actually a really good thing to do. From the standpoint of health, we'll take a survey. Does your body know the difference between 3 10-minute sessions a day and 1 30-minute session a day? No, your body does not care. So break it up. Do a little bit at a time. These are some of my students. They're awesome. We've got a lady, she's lifting weights in her jammies. She's my hero. We've got somebody shoveling snow. Not so applicable here. But this is one of my favorites, right? She's doing a dance party with her kids in the living room. You can get your kids, you can get your grandkids, you can borrow some neighbors' kids. Put on a song, 2 to 5 minutes. Do one song. Start small. Because we really want to be slow and steady. We want to be the tortoise here, not the hare. And eventually, you will find that probably exercise will feel pretty good. In fact, your body will feel better exercising than not exercising. And that's the truth. All right, another sort of bit of software we have in here is that exercise is boring. Well, again, full disclosure, exercise can be really boring. And that's another thing you'll see in the gym by February is those people on the treadmill, they look like they're doing the baton death march. They're just like, I want to be anywhere but here. But the truth is, exercise doesn't have to be boring. In fact, I say exercise is like sex. If you're not having fun, you're not doing it right. Or you're not doing it with the right people. Exercise should be fun. But just like any relationship, right, your relationship with fitness, you gotta spice it up a little bit sometimes. Do it outside. Do it with somebody different. Do it in public. Whatever it takes to get your motor running. You have to work at making it fun. Now, that said, you're not necessarily gonna find your fitness thing right off the bat. You have to think outside of the box. Maybe try tango lessons or scuba diving. Because you might have to kiss a few fitness frogs before you find your exercise Prince Charming. But what I'm going to tell you is, in all of our exercise lives, mine included, there comes that moment where you have to choose between watching Game of Thrones and doing your workout. And if your workout is boring and stupid and it sucks, winter is coming. All right. All right, here's the third of the 3.5. Exercise bodies look perfect. Most of us, when we think of exercise bodies, we think of something like this, right? Big biceps, glistening six-pack abdominals. And then we look down and we're like, I don't look like this picture, therefore I don't have an exercise body. Well, you know what? Nobody looks like this picture. This result from exercise is so rare that if you look at a diet magazine or you look at a TV ad with this body, very often you'll see a little line of type at the bottom that says, results not typical. That's because a body that looks like this is so unusual that these companies get sued just for implying that their product is going to make you look like this. Now there is one exception. I've had one group of students who do look like supermodels after they finish exercising with me. Anybody want to guess who those students are? The ones who look like supermodels before they started exercising. So the idea that only bodies that look a certain way should exercise, as Spock would say, is highly illogical. Because exercise bodies look all different ways. Some are tall, some are short, some are skinny, some are fat, some have very yellow hair. Those are all exercisers. They're all exercise bodies. Now, the 0.5 of the 3.5 is that we believe that, well, after I exercise, my body will look like that. So, I've talked to a lot of people who said, well, I kind of know that I'm not going to end up looking like that, but I have to tell myself that I'll look like that in order to get myself to go to the gym. So, here we have a rhinoceros on a treadmill looking at a picture of a unicorn. This is that style of motivation. How long does he need to run on that treadmill before he turns into a unicorn? Forever, right? For two very good reasons. Rhinoceri and unicorns are two different animals. And two, unicorns don't exist. I'm pretty sure that guy's been photoshopped, right? Okay, so this is a terrible example of motivation because what happens to Mr. or Ms. Rhinoceros who has spent 6 months on the I'm going to look like a unicorn treadmill plan? What happens? He gives up. Right? We give up. This result is typical. This is normal, and this is not what we want. So it's really important to sort fitness fairy tales from fitness facts. When I got my first car, my dad told me, you need to wash this car. This car will run better if you wash it. I said, Dad, what are you talking about? I'm thinking like drag coefficient and dirt. And I'm like, and he said, no. He said, if you wash your car, if you name your car, if you love your car, you'll take care of your car. And when your car starts making that awful noise, instead of turning up the radio, you're going to take it to the shop because we take care of the things we love. So, that said, we're going to do that same exercise we did at the beginning. Repeat after me. I love my body. Oh, you didn't convince me yet. I love my body. I love my body. Very nice, you guys. All right, so let's talk about the 3.5 things we've learned. Exercise is for everybody because it's good for you, because it feels good, because it makes you feel good about you, and because it's just good fun. But that said, I'm an exercise teacher, so I'm going to say talk is cheap. Let's dance. Everybody stand up. Wiggle around, find a little spot to call your own, claim your space. All right. All right, everybody. Here we go. Little step cut. Come on now. That's it. Woo! Little march. hall. We have 2 hours of this kind of fun. You are not required to dance the whole 2 hours. 2 minutes is totally cool. Come and dance with me and you will have a chance to win a fat chick of your very own. Tonight's academy, changing your exercise body by changing your exercise mind. Thank you so much.
And we have another showstopper coming up for you. So this gal,